the Florida Writer Podcast, a discussion about writing and other things.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Florida Writer Podcast with your host, Allison Nissen. And today I am lucky enough to be with Sherry Winston. Sherry, could you give us a 60-second elevator pitch about who you are and what you write?
Wow. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. Again, my name is Sherry Winston. I am a Michigan native who has lived in Florida far too long. I write middle grade books for children, obviously, for young readers. My current book is Lotus Bloom and the Afro Revolution. And one of my most known books is President of the Whole Fifth Grade. I like writing about female empowerment.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so glad you're here today. I know writing for children is a really daunting task. How do you create a voice that resonates with kids?
People ask me that question a lot. And the honest to goodness answer is when I start writing, that is my emotional age. That is the age that comes easiest to me. That's the voice that comes easiest. I would love to write some teen thriller type of things. I've started a project and I work on it, but it is very difficult. But then if everywhere that I go, even when there are adult things happening, the way I make myself understand it is to try to see it as a kid of about 12 would see it. And then it makes sense to me. So I don't know if you would call that a defect or, is that a positive or a negative? But it's just how my brain works. And it's just my comfort zone. So yeah. And I like to tell people that maturity wise, I probably top out at about 12. So it makes that voice quite easy.
All right, that's funny. So when you're sitting down, you're creating a character and you're writing as your 12-year-old self.
Yes.
Has the world changed since you were actually 12? Like,
oh my God,
change?
Yes. One of the more difficult things about writing for that age is how connected they are to gadgets and devices and being online and pop culture. And when I was growing up, everything lived and died by what you could get out of that Teen Beat or Tiger Beat magazine. They don't have to do that now. They've got YouTube. They've got just this plethora of places to draw from. So those are the things that I probably have to work on during my edit before I send the magazine in. What hasn't changed are the core feelings behind why we do something or how we respond to being treated a certain kind of way. I don't think that changes from generation to generation because as human beings, we all want the same sort of basic things. And we all have very typical, I don't want to say typical, but very overlapping needs about wanting to belong, wanting to be included, wanting to feel a part of something. And so whether I'm writing something that would be historical or a period piece or present day, though that part of it doesn't change. It's just the artifice that goes with it. The gadget thing is, when my kids were younger, they were a big help. Well, my daughter is a senior at FSU now. And so I still run stuff by her to say, or my nephew, and say, what, how do kids handle this now? And they'll say, oh, mom, no, no, that don't do that. So I'm still learning.
Do you find beta readers that are about 12 or 8?
No, I wish. But what I do is when I have school visits and I'm working on something, I will use my work in progress in a prompt, and I will ask the kids, I will tell the kids, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm stuck on. So I need some real life 8 or 9-year-olds or 7 or 8-year-olds to tell me what should happen next. How can this character fix this? Or I need real life 5th graders or 6th grade, you know what I mean? So I workshop it with the kids, and I get some really good stuff. I get really good input. And I've done that with I did it with President of the Whole 5th grade. I did it with a lot of different books where I was able to take stuff, suggestions that the children made, and was able to use it. They're very clever, and they know what they like. So it's been a great tool for me. I wish I could schedule, school visits for like every other, at least once a month, because I get as much, if not more, out of it than the kids.
So I'm going to ask a really basic question, but how do you schedule school visits?
Okay, well, if you want to schedule a school visit, there are a couple different ways. One of the best ways is to email me at sherryberries at gmail.com and put in the subject head author visit. And then you explain who you are and where you're located and what it is that you want. And I will tell you my school fee, my fee for coming to the school for X amount of time. And I will ask some questions about your student population, what they're working on, how, different schools, they have different, they're dealing with different levels, not just schools, but different classes. So I don't want to come in with a plan to do something that's going to be too challenging. One time I went to a school that was all gifted. So I had to sort of up my game so that these kids wouldn't be bored. So, I try to tailor it a little bit. And and then so we'll message back and forth or call each other. I'll send you my phone number. And that is how a school visit is born.
And how did you start visiting schools?
Well, it's just such an integral part of being an author. Initially, and this still happens sometimes, where someone will reach out to the publisher and have the publisher will put them in touch with a publicist who will then communicate with me. And it's pretty much still the same sort of interaction, except it's got that other layer. There's someone who's helping me to schedule it. But school visits are kind of personal, and nobody at the publisher is going to know what my schedule is and how I can best accommodate that particular school. So it's in some ways it's helpful for me to have people go through the publisher, but for the most part, I don't have a problem with just managing it on my own.
Well, that's good to know. So through your writing journey, you've been traditionally published.
Correct. Correct. I've never self-published.
Okay. And what's that been like?
Being traditionally published.
Sure. Yeah.
So I belonged to a writers group about 25 years ago. And the woman in that group was published, and there were about 3 other people who were published. And there were only maybe 10, 11 of us in the group at the time. And she liked my work and told me that she would make a recommendation to her, or would refer me to her agent. And he took me on, and I've been with the same agency. Unfortunately, that agent passed away some years ago, but I've been with that same agency ever since. And they have sold my work to traditional publishing houses. And, so I've been able to slowly but surely, I've been like the little engine that could. When I first started, I was working full-time as a journalist for the Sun Sentinel in Florida. And I was not as able to write as fast. I had 2 small children. I was a full-time employee, and then I had this crazy idea that I wanted to be an author too. So hands full.
I imagine being a journalist during the day and then at night switching to your children's fiction.
Right.
Was really a little bit of a switch. Like, did you find that easy, or was that like, whoa, I have to, like put on a different hat?
It was because, during the day, I'd have this list of facts to work from. This is who you're talking about. This is how old they are. I'd be able to ask questions to get all those things answered. But when I was working on my own work, I had to answer all those questions on my own. I had to come up with stuff on my own so that it would make sense. But it was incredibly freeing. And I found that writing in the evening, after the kids went to bed, was a good way to decompress. It was my equivalent to the warm bath and a glass of wine. You sit down with your little friends, and it was very freeing.
Well, that's excellent. So many times you get stuck in a voice like in your head, and so you've spoken just like a true writer. I can write all day and I can write all night.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, Sherry, how can people get in touch with you?
People can get in touch with me at Sherry, Sherri, Berries, Berries @gmail.com. You can also go to my website, sherrywinston.com, and go to the contact page, and there is, it tells you, it has that information on it. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I do believe I am Sherry Winston at all of them. So, I am one of the easiest people in the world to find online. It's not difficult. I've even Googled to see if my correct email comes up, and it does. So I'm out there, and I'm here if you want to have an author visit. I also get a lot of people who contact me because their kids are working on some kind of project and they want to interview an author or something like that. And that's always sweet. So, stop on by.
Oh, that is fun. How neat to be inspirational to the next generation. Well, Sherry, are you ready to switch to our rapid fire questions?
Oh, no. Okay. I'm a little scared. Okay.
All right, Sherry, what is your favorite color?
Pink.
Pink. That's awesome. I'm wearing a pink shirt. You can't see it, but I'm wearing a pink shirt.
I love pink.
What is your favorite season?
Fall.
Fall.
I grew up in Michigan, and the leaves would change, and you'd start to get the colors around October. And my mom loved Halloween, so it was something to look forward to in October. And it just has, I have a lot of fond memories around Michigan autumns.
And if you were the next winner on The Price is Right and you had to select your next car, what would it be?
Ooh, that's hard. I'm not a big car person, but I think I would choose a Lexus SUV, white.
White. Well, we
Pearl
know
white. Not that I've thought about it or anything.
Well, Sherry Winston, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you all. And I look forward to hearing this to see how I sounded.
Well, I think you sound fabulous.
Oh.
You have been listening to another edition of the Florida Writer Podcast with your host, Allison Nissen. Allison out. Boom. We're all done.
Boom. Okay. Thank you so much. That went fast.
It does. It goes really fast. Sherry Winston writes books for young readers. The author of The President of the Whole Fifth Grade, Lotus Bloom, and the Afro Revolution, she grew up in a small town on the West Michigan shore. After earning a journalism degree from Michigan State, Winston spent several years working at various newspapers. She resides in Orlando, where she writes, thinks, and dreams. Visit her website, voteforcupcakes.com. And join the Florida Writers Association with networking opportunities, workshops, awards. For more information, visit floridawriters.org. Until next time.